In the ancient world, battles were won not just with swords and shields, but with strategy, deception, and sometimes divine prophecy. Today, we journey back to a chaotic battlefield to witness a moment where a single arrow changed the course of history. This is the story of King Ahab's final stand, a tale of pride, disguise, and a prophecy that could not be outrun. Imagine the scene. The air is thick with dust and the clang of steel. The armies of Israel and Judah are locked in a fierce battle against the Arameans at Ramoth-Gilead. At the heart of this storm is King Ahab of Israel. He's a seasoned warrior, but today he's also a man haunted by a prophecy. A prophet named Micaiah had foretold his doom, declaring that if Ahab went to this battle, he would not return. Ahab, ever the strategist, thinks he can cheat fate. He devises a plan. He tells his ally, King Jehoshaphat of Judah, "You wear your royal robes, but I will disguise myself and go into battle." So Jehoshaphat becomes the decoy, the obvious royal target, while Ahab sheds his kingly attire and dons the armor of a common soldier, melting into the sea of warriors. He believes his anonymity is his shield, his cleverness a greater defense than any fortress wall. The battle rages. The Aramean king gives a specific, chilling order to his chariot commanders. Do not fight with anyone, small or great, except the king of Israel. They scour the battlefield, their eyes searching for the royal insignia, the telltale signs of a king. They spot King Jehoshaphat in his regal robes and immediately converge on him. Surrounded and facing certain death, Jehoshaphat cries out. In that moment, the Arameans realize their mistake. This isn't Ahab. They pull back, their primary target still at large. Ahab, meanwhile, fights on, hidden in plain sight. He must have felt a surge of relief, perhaps even a smirk of triumph. His plan had worked. He had outsmarted his enemies and, he thought, his destiny. The prophecy was wrong. He was safe. But the threads of fate are not so easily cut. What happens next is a moment of pure, terrifying randomness, or perhaps a moment of perfect, divine aim. The Bible describes it with stark simplicity. But someone drew his bow at random and hit the king of Israel between the sections of his armor. Think about that. Not a targeted shot from a heroic archer. Not a well-aimed strike from a rival commander. Just a random arrow fired into the chaos of battle by an unnamed soldier. An arrow with no specific target, just a prayer to the gods of war. This single, anonymous arrow flies through the dust-choked air. It weaves through the maelstrom of swinging swords, clashing shields, and desperate cries. Out of thousands of soldiers on that field, it finds one man, and it doesn't just hit him. It finds the one tiny, fatal vulnerability in his disguise, the small gap between the breastplate and the tassets, the joint in his armor, a 1 Emelin shot. The impact is immediate and devastating. The iron arrowhead pierces through the seam, biting deep into the king's body. A sharp, searing pain cuts through the adrenaline of the fight. Ahab staggers. He knows instantly that the wound is mortal. The prophecy of Micaiah echoes in his mind, no longer a warning but a final, dreadful reality. His clever disguise, his elaborate plan to cheat death, had been undone by a single, random arrow. He turns to his chariot driver, his voice strained with pain and urgency. "Wheel about and get me out of the fighting," he gasps. "I've been wounded, but escape is impossible. The battle is too intense, pressing in from all sides." propped up in his chariot, facing his enemies, Ahab bleeds. The sun begins to set, casting long, bloody shadows across the field. His life drains away with the fading light, his blood pooling on the floor of the chariot. As evening falls, the king of Israel is dead. A cry goes out through the army, every man to his town, every man to his land. The battle is over. The soldiers retreat, leaving the field littered with the cost of a king's pride. Ahab's story is a powerful reminder. We can create elaborate plans, build walls, and wear disguises to protect ourselves from what we fear. We can try to manipulate circumstances and outsmart the consequences of our choices. But some truths are inescapable. There are forces at play far greater than our own strategies. Ahab thought he could control his destiny, but in the end, a single, random arrow proved that no disguise can hide us from the consequences of our own path. This incredible moment from ancient history shows us how even the most powerful rulers are subject to the unpredictable nature of life and fate. What do you think? Was it a random accident or a moment of divine intervention? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this story as fascinating as we do, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more epic tales from history and scripture. Thanks for watching.